Has had it with attacks on Americans, makes major announcement that will affect 3.5 million people immediately. Our country is currently under attack. On all fronts, we have ISIS terrorists sneaking through our border disguised as refugees, illegal criminals running rampant across the United States, and anti-Trump liberals now carrying out assassination plots on members of the GOP. Despite the massive chaos that continues to ensue thanks to the reckless antics of liberal politicians, President Trump has done an amazing job in keeping his promise to make America safe again. In light of the recent attacks on Americans, President Trump's gloves are off. In an unprecedented effort to crack down and keep our country safe, the Trump administration just made a huge announcement about a policy change of Obama's that's making liberals furious and criminals scramble to the border like roaches. We have an enormous issue right now in our nation. Not only are we being actively invaded by unvetted third world country refugees, where ISIS members are now popping up all over the country, but we have known Mexican cartel members committing horrifying atrocities on Americans, as reports of border agents being kidnapped and teenage girls being gang raped continue to make headlines across our country. Just in the last 3 weeks alone, U.S. immigration authorities arrested and deported 199 Iraqi immigrants who were hiding out in the Detroit area, who were able to weasel their way in our country thanks to Obama. In addition to ICE agents conducting massive raids across our country to weed these Muslim and criminal invaders from the United States, Trump is undergoing a massive policy of Obama's in a move that has America's enemies trembling even more. Breaking reports revealed that Trump is now fulfilling another one of his campaign promises by rescinding the Deferred Action for Parents of Americans and Lawful Permanent Residents (DAPA) program, where anyone entering our country, to include criminals and terrorists, could have an anchor baby and then be given permanent residence in our country, the Daily Caller reported. The Trump administration has rescinded the Deferred Action for Parents of Americans and Lawful Permanent Residents (DAPA) program implemented under Barack Obama that could have allowed as many as 5 million illegal aliens with children who are citizens or lawful permanent residents to remain in the country if they met certain criteria. DAPA was blocked by the courts for implementation, which the Department of Homeland Security cited as a reason for rescinding the program. A DHS press release said Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly signed a memorandum rescinding DAPA on Thursday because there is no credible path forward to litigate the currently enjoyed policy. The program had been challenged by 26 states after Obama issued it in November 2014. The Supreme Court deadlocked when ruling on the constitutionality of the program in June 2016, splitting the vote 4-4 due to the empty seat at the time left by late Supreme Court Justice Anton Scalia. This policy change is predicted to affect an estimated 3.5 million undocumented immigrants who will no longer have protection under the law to hide out and live as illegals in our country, Color Lines reported. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, ended the Deferred Action for Parents of Americans and Lawful Permanent Residents (DAPA) program yesterday, June 15th, before undocumented parents had a chance to take advantage of it. The program was created under former President Barack Obama with the intention to protect from deportation an estimated 3.5 million undocumented parents of children who are either citizens or permanent residents, while providing them a 2-year renewable work permit. However, it remained in the throes of litigation after 26 states, following Texas's lead, argued that Obama didn't have the authority to implement such a policy. That hasn't stopped him before, right? Homeland Security Secretary John F. Kelly rescinded Obama's DAPA memo by signing his own memo. This leaves the case, United States versus Texas, in a questionable state before the Fifth Circuit. What's more, this move under the Trump administration came on the 5th anniversary of DAPA's sister policy, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA. This program also came about under Obama and provides deportation protection and work authorization for immigrant youth who came to the United States illegally before the age of 16. DACA will remain unaffected under this memo. Liberals wasted no time losing their minds over the announcement, with liberal media outlets immediately spinning the story of President Trump's vile attack on children. The rest of us who realize the seriousness of keeping unvetted people out of the country are celebrating, however, as this policy will only make it even more difficult for criminals to invade America and then live off the taxpayers' dime. Despite liberals' continued efforts to try to destroy our country with Muslim terrorists and illegals, President Trump remains undeterred in his efforts to make our country great and safe again. No doubt this latest policy change will stir up anti-Trump sentiments in this country even further. So we must all remain vigilant, as liberal snowflakes will no doubt resort to violence in order to sulk about not getting their way. This is one reason why Scalia was taken out, and this is why Obama was so adamant in appointing his own judge. And he was stopped because of this. They knew what they were doing. Obama was a menace to this country. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.